guesses. 2 don't count. It's snowing. The schools are closed. Oh no! It's Snowmageddon! Snowmageddon 2018. Look out, everybody! Call the National Guard, the Army, the Navy, the Marines. Everyone, come help us, Snowmageddon. Hey, this is Bill Bostic. Bill Bostic with the Gazette Morning Update for Wednesday, Hump Day, March 21st, 2018. And you know what that means? It's the day the Paxton Herald comes out. Look for that. Look for an update on the Paxton Herald tomorrow. We got big things in store for you today. Yes, indeedy. Back off this music. There we go. So, one and all, we'd like to thank you for stopping by. Have a seat. Get your coffee. I got my coffee right here. Be heading over to St. Thomas Roasters later today to get some more of that comfort beverage. This is my comfort beverage, coffee. Honestly, I drink way too much of it right now. But that's the way we roll at the moment, in a very high activity phase of life, and every once in a while, coffee. Not every once in a while, numerous times a day. Coffee is great. Okay, we'll leave it at that. So it's snowing, folks. Lightly snowing here at Linglestown Gazette Studios in the Ubana section of the village of Linglestown, the historic village of Linglestown, founded in 1765 by Thomas Lingle. And it's quite a privilege to live here. Linglestown is my adopted hometown for 30 years, folks. 30 years. I've been living here with my wife, my lovely bride, and we'll probably stay here as long as we can find a spot for a tiny home somewhere. We'll see how that all works out. Let's get started. Let's get down to brass tacks here and take a look at the weather, brought to you by Anthony Cristillo and his infamous, if not regionally famous, the Fat Man Clothing Company out of Colonial Park. But here in the village of Linglestown, it's 29 degrees and pretty much 29, 30 degrees throughout our region. Lower Paxton Township, Central Dauphin School District. It's snowing. Expecting a high of 33 degrees today, possibly 5 inches of snow. I think most of that's going to end up in the grass and not on the roads, but nevertheless, 5 inches of snow predicted by weatherunderground.com. I'm a paid up member of weatherunderground.com. And let's see, temperature is supposed to stay steady in the low to mid 30s, winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, some snow yet tonight, but no accumulation expected this evening, a low of 28. And tomorrow, guess what? The sun returns and the temperatures go up to 45 degrees, according to my sources. So that's your weather report for today. And there are some weather-related announcements to pass along to you. Central Dauphin School District is closed. They started out with a 2-hour delay early this morning when I first checked in the 5 o'clock hour, and then quickly moved to closed. We've had an amazing number of school closures this year without Snowmageddon showing up. And this is not Snowmageddon. This is in no way, shape, or form Snowmageddon. But nevertheless, schools are closed. They'll be going to school through the middle of June, I guess. I don't know how all that works. Don't take that to the bank. I don't know exactly what the schedule is, but it's moving in that direction. And also another weather-related announcement. Tonight, we've been hawking and promoting a live Facebook broadcast over at St. Thomas Roasters in the square of Linglestown. The Lady Rams Hoops Weekly Special, a year-end review, a chat with head coach Randy Gambelunghe and some players over there. Postponed till another time. We'll announce that at a later date. So that big sporting event is off for this evening. Again, no Lady Rams Hoops Weekly Facebook Live broadcast tonight. All right. And let's just move into some local news. A few things to share here. Last night, whether you know it or not, and I'm sure you didn't know it, Linglestown actually had a spotlight on it. Had a spotlight on Linglestown last night. Let me get back to this one web page I want to use here in a moment. The American Legion. We here on North Mountain Road, there's the Linglestown American Legion Post 272. They hosted a dignitary within the ranks of the American Legion. They had the first female national commander was in town to visit and check out what's going on in the central part of our state. Linglestown hosted an event for her and a gathering of Legion members and veterans and people associated with the American Legion through the central part of our state, from the southern border, the Mason-Dixon line, up to the northern border, and that's like sort of the central part of the state, the entire central part, from north to south. There were people there from Scranton, there were people there from Altoona, there were people there from Mount Holly Springs, and of course many people from Linglestown. And actually there's a report on LinglestownGazette.com, the website, also on PennLive.com, just a brief report of what went on there. But I think what this event shows is that we have a really top-notch American Legion in our community. Now, a number of years ago, I'm talking about a number of years ago, that our American Legion was struggling, but a new group of leaders came in a few years ago, and they've turned this thing around. And there's all kinds of community services that they provide, many of them hidden from public view. Some of the more notable ones the American Legion here in Linglestown provides is a Memorial Day parade, a youth baseball team, chicken barbecues, of course. They have a very, very nice, excuse me, excuse me, hold on. Okay, the American Legion here in Linglestown has a very, very nice social hall that's available for rental and special events. So, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg of what they do. And it's interesting that next year, 2019, will be the 100th anniversary year for our local American Legion. And I've teamed up with their current commander, Ken Stamball, and over a period of time, we'll be highlighting some of the great things that the American Legion here in Linglestown does. Again, that's American Legion Post 272 here in Linglestown. So, and actually, the other thing that's interesting, and this sort of shows where our media, our news media is going in the local area. I was the only news guy there. And everyone was alerted, all the TV stations, that we had the national commander, the first female national commander coming in here. And Linglestown Gazette, and in turn, I'm now working with PennLive.com. We were the only one. I sat there with the national commander and interviewed her, had a one-person press conference. I mean, that's groundbreaking, I think. So, I wanted to mention that. Also, I mentioned this yesterday about becoming a patron of Linglestown Gazette for one reason and one reason only. Not to pay me, but I'm looking to bring on an intern or two to help out in the newsroom and to experience firsthand modern digital news journalism. And the only way that's going to happen, especially because I've set this thing up as a nonprofit, it's a public service. I'm not being paid to do this right now. And we do have a few sponsors, but it's not fully paying the bills. But to help our youth get into their, improve their writing skills, have them experience journalism, it's going to take help from the community. And I have a website set up. I'll put it on there. It's called patreon.com. I hand out cards that say support local journalism, become a patron. I mean, I recommend $5 a month. $5 a month coming out of a credit card or debit card or PayPal or whatever. If you want to give less, that's fine. If you want to give more, I have some people giving $10, $20 a month. A handful of people are helping me out. I think it's like a little over $100 comes in a month from patrons. But the benefit you get is knowing in your heart you're helping a youth get involved in something that's going to serve us as a community. becoming a journalist, recording what's going on, following governmental affairs. So that'll get off my soapbox on that one. I do want to mention that we do have Colonial Country Club, Colonial Golf and Tennis Club. They actually have a membership event tonight, but they're offering 1 month free membership when you join now. You can check that out if you're interested in golf, tennis, swimming, just a place to socialize. And the reason I bring that up is this particular golf course, Colonial Country Club, is owned by a developer, Triple Crown Corporation. It sounds like they're making a commitment to keeping Colonial Country Club as a golf course. That's just sort of my take, because I talked to their manager and he was talking about like things 2-3 years out, what they were hoping to do. But the only way it's going to be able to stay a golf course is if people of means, people who have some money, will go and join it, because I think they're looking down the road potentially to become a private golf club again. Now it's semi-private. So just a little plug for Colonial Golf Club. It's actually Colonial Golf and Tennis Club, because we, the people, me being one of them, I don't want to see that golf course be developed into housing or some other kind of intense development. It's a beautiful golf course. Check it out if you have an interest in that. So that takes care of that item. And now we get to the main topic of the day. And let's just introduce that main topic properly with some noise. Oh yeah. Main topic. Whoa! All right, thank you for that intro. Very nice. The main topic today is arts and entertainment in the village of Linglestown. What's potential out there? And some of this was spurred on by my weekend trip. I had a weekend trip to the Finger Lakes region of New York, and one of my favorite spots, was able to return to it. How many of you have heard of a finger lake by the name of Keuka? Keuka, K-E-U-K-A, Keuka. If you've heard of it before, Tom Gingrich, if you've heard of it, I'm not saying I'm saying your last name wrong. I don't know how to say your last name. Anyways, Tom or Joe or whoever's listening, if you ever heard of Keuka Lake, put it in the comments if you have. It's an interesting lake. I actually have a, hold on here a second. I bought this. Here is, I guess this is the best way. Here's the shape of it on the map. It's a Y. Very interesting lake. Up here is a town named Penn Yan. That's where we stayed. Down here is a town called Hammondsport. And circling the lake are all kinds of breweries and wineries and different attractions. And beyond that, especially on the west shore of this lake, it is beautiful. You get there's like you have these areas that are up high, and then you dip down into the lake, and when you're up high looking down, I mean, what a sight. It's beautiful, a beautiful place. And there's a town by the name of Hammondsport I mentioned at the bottom of the lake, the southern section. It formerly was the America's coolest small town, all right? And it has all kinds of little shops. It's not that big. It really is not that big of a town. It is a true small town. Bread and breakfast, lakefront, a beautiful square. A big green area, and there's a sign that honors their veterans, different people involved in key wars in our national history. And wouldn't it be cool if Linglestown can add on to what's happened already and become a cool small town? I mean, right now it's cool, but it's not the coolest. It could be a lot cooler, okay? What I'm saying is Linglestown, Dauphin County, in Lower Paxton Township, has potential to become a local, if not regional, destination if we get the right mix of things, just like Hammondsport, New York. And one other key thing about Hammondsport, New York that's interesting, it is the birthplace. It's some believe and some refer to it as the birthplace of aviation. Because there's a guy by the name of Curtis who, at the same time as the Wright brothers were doing their thing at Kitty Hawk, this Curtis guy was launching planes and flying them off the lake. Actually, pontoon type of a airplane. And there's a museum dedicated to him. I was told over the weekend that Curtis in Hammondsport, New York, and the Wright brothers went to war over who invented modern aviation. And apparently the United States government had to separate those two and tell them, look, clean this thing up, settle your differences, and let's move on. And it seems like in history books the Wright brothers won. But many in Hammondsport believe they are the birthplace of modern aviation. Linglestown has a really good start on this right at the moment, believe it or not. If you haven't checked out Linglestown, you may want to do it. Right now, we have Lindsay Weaver on the second floor of the Mud Queen Pottery place. She's a abstract painter and artist. If you look up at the second floor of the Mud Queen at nighttime, you'll see her stuff. It's all lit up. Downstairs you have a pottery place that sells and helps people do pottery. Springgate in the Village across the street occasionally does things in the arts. And I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. I'm actually in a murder mystery, and I'll be wearing these nerdy glasses on Friday and Saturday night because I'll transform myself into Poindexter Boinkerton. Poindexter Boinkerton. I'm a computer nerd that's wrapped up in the murder mystery, believe it or not. And I tell people that I own and operate the computer shop on North Mountain Road. Of course, we work on computers there. And through my work at the computer shop, I know everything about everybody. You figure out how I know everything about everybody. If I work in a computer shop, how do I get all that dirt? Well, it's very easy, and Poindex, Poindex does it, and really Poindex's main job on Friday and Saturday night is to find eligible single women in the crowd. So that's all I'll say about that. But the point is, murder mystery arts. It's a play. It's a form of drama. Murder mysteries are, and there's other things that could be done. We have St. Thomas Roasters that every Friday and Saturday night they have music. So we are well on our way to having an artistic type of environment in Linglestown. Again, we're not there. It just shows potential. And the one thing, in closing this out today, the one thing I wanted to mention to you is that with Linglestown Gazette, a group of people that start to follow this, would you ever be interested in doing a bus excursion to a place like Keuka Lake? Seeing for yourself the majesty of Keuka Lake. Would anyone be interested in doing that? And that's something that could be set up through the auspices of Linglestown Gazette, and we as a community could take trips and do fun things like that. If you're interested, let me know. Put something in the comments. Participate. This is a participatory type of thing. So, with that, that's enough show for one day, don't you think? Did you get your money's worth today? I hope you did. We'll shut this thing down and ask everyone to please drive safely as Snowmageddon 2018 is underway. Oh my gosh. Thanks for stopping by the Gazette Morning Update for Wednesday, March 21st, 2018. This is Bill Bostic signing off. See you tomorrow. I promise I'll be here.